You're probably confused by the title of this video, but I'm not lying. Roblox anime games have officially fallen off. They're not what they used to be just a few years ago. And trust me, you're not the only one who feels this way. For the past 2 years, we've been waiting, hoping that Rell Seas, Holy War X, or even Pocket Anime would finally change Roblox forever. But let's be real, those might have been the heroes we needed, but they weren't the heroes we got. What we did get though, just a few days ago, was Weak Legacy 2. And after about 20 seconds of playing it, I can confidently say it's the biggest banning beater I've seen in years. It's honestly sad, both the frequency and the quality of anime games are at an all-time low now. But this can't be the end, right? We still haven't gotten the most awaited, high-quality games we've been waiting years for. So in this video, we're going back, rating every Roblox anime game I remember over the years, to finally figure out where it all went wrong. And trust me, the truth is far from what you think. Let's rewind to 2019. This was before all the slop we got today, before Grow Garden and Steal a Brain became a thing. This was when Roblox anime games actually meant something. Blox was the foundation. It was the first game that brought One Piece to everyone Roblox, with casual friendly gameplay. But honestly, looking back, it wasn't even that good. It was just a banning beater, but back then, it was just so tough that you could get Delphi and Haki and somewhat relive the One Piece world. It started slow, maybe 50k players at most, but then over the years, it exploded. Like actually exploded. We're talking over 2 million concurrent players at its peak, which used to be insane before all the brain rot took over. And despite all the drama, all the content droughts, all the times we thought it was over for Blox, the game never actually left. In total, the game's got 50 billion visits and is the game that made a massive impact, not just on Roblox anime games, but also Roblox as a whole. But Blox wasn't alone. The same year, Your Bizarre Adventure brought JoJo to Roblox in a way that actually worked. It wasn't just a banning beater, it had progression, PvP that actually took skill, and a community that was obsessed with the game. Tens of thousands of players, YouTube videos everywhere, everyone was playing the game. This wasn't just another Brookhaven or Adopt Me. This was an actual immersive anime game. YBA marked the rise of Roblox anime games as an actual genre, which, believe it or not, became the biggest one in the near future. But that wasn't it. King Legacy dropped, the direct competitor to Blox. I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't play much, it was basically just a banning beater like Blox, but you know what, that competition pushed both games to be better. It expanded anime games across Roblox, even though it was just another banning beater. But then something dropped. Something that, believe it or not, will change Roblox drastically in the future. This is Rogue Lineage, and this is where things get serious. This wasn't just a repetitive banning beater, like most of the other games we had gotten up until this point. This was hardcore, permadeath, Dark Souls inspired, skill-based combat with pairing, build crafting, and actual consequences and role building. If you die too many times, bye-bye to all your progress, start over. And it also costs a Robux, but people paid, because Rogue Lineage attracted an older audience. People who wanted challenge, who wanted depth, who were tired of just clicking on M1 on bandits. This game shaped Roblox like nothing else. It showed that high quality, skill-based RPGs could exist on this platform. It started a wave of games that you would pay money for on Steam, except that this was on Roblox. Before this, we were used to mediocre quality and treated Roblox more or so as a mess around platform. But Rogue Lineage is what changed everything. Whenever you see an upcoming RPG game now, you just know it was this game that encouraged the developers to shoot for this level of quality, even though some games don't manage to attain it. And then, its successor began development, which funnily enough, outshined the master, Deepwoken. I actually got to play this one, a lot, and let me tell you, it was in a whole another level. The maps were genuinely massive, the lore was deep, the combat required actual skill, pairing, timing, positioning. This game was actually balanced, it was immersive, and for a game that costed 400 Robux, it always had so many players. Even today, after dropping a massive update, it's sitting at 20k players and a billion visits. If it was free, I genuinely believe it would have 100k players at all times, forever. Deepwoken wasn't just a game, it was a standard. Before, kids would grow up playing Deepwoken and watching Berserk. Now, they will grow up with Steal a Brain. That should tell you everything. The game had guilds, you could jump other players, it was hardcore, it was fun with friends, and even though it wasn't technically an anime game, it influenced every anime game that came after it. Every new release got compared to Deepwoken, every game with pairing got called a cheap Deepwoken copy. It honestly set the bar, and honestly, it's still the highest quality game Roblox has. 2019 wasn't just a year, It was a movement. Roblox anime games stopped being simple fighting simulators. They became real RPG worlds, with progression, with replayability, with entire fan-based communities. This was the birth of the modern era. While 2019 was nice and all, 2020 was the year devs realized they could actually make real money with anime games, and that changed everything. Shindo Life was the Naruto giant that dominated the entire Roblox scene. Daily and weekly updates, spins, everyone's favorite, gambling, relentless content drops. This was one of the first anime games I actually locked into. I had just finished watching all 700 episodes of Naruto, and when you finish an anime that long, it doesn't just leave your head. You need more. So I found Shindo Life on Roblox. And this was exactly like Naruto at the time. All the jutsus, tail beasts, weapons. I made entire character builds based on Naruto. It was honestly insane. The game blew up mainly because of Naruto roleplay content on YouTube. I'm not even kidding. I thought those videos were peak entertainment at the time. Shindo Life is genuinely one of my favorite Roblox games of all time. And that's why I'm so hyped for Rell Seas, because it's made by the same devs. And if they can replicate what they did with Shindo Life, well, on 2025 standard, it's over. Shindo Life was honestly one of my favorite games, but that was not the only game that marked this year. There was also GPO. GPO was like Blox, but on steroids. I never fully locked in because by that point, I had played so many Benny Beers that nothing this game could offer surprised me anymore. But I'll give it credit, it was somewhat good. It had depth for a Benny Beer, better graphics than most, more detail. It wasn't just mindless grinding 24/7. It was a premium experience, and it also costed Robux back then. Overall, the year of 2020 was the year of solidification. Devs stopped chasing quick hype. They started building games for long-term retention. However, despite all this, realistically this year didn't reach the height of 2019. Nothing could top Deepwoken's impact on the overall community of Roblox, but Shindo Life held it down, and the genre kept growing because of it. The following years are which mark the current Roblox more and more. 2021 to 2022 was what I would call visual bait. This is when Roblox anime games suddenly started looking way better than they ever have. Project Slayers came out in 2022, and I still remember the first time I loaded into the map, the lighting, the atmosphere, the breathing styles, and demon arts. It had crazy world building. It genuinely felt like you were in Demon Slayer. It wasn't perfect, but it was insane for Roblox at the time, and it gave people even more hope that anime games could be cinematic even more, not just grind simulators and Benny Beers. I spent so much time in this game. It was honestly fun and immersive. But looking at it now, you can't really replicate that feeling, especially now that the game's been dead for years without a single update. The game just doesn't hit the same it did before. Then we got Peroxide, the Bleach game that everyone had been waiting for. And I'll be honest, I didn't sink too much time into this one, but the PvP actually took skill. It actually felt competitive again since the Deepwoken and Rogue Lineage release. It wasn't just another Benny Beer, and unlike Type Soul, which gets revived and dies with less than 1k players every single time, Peroxide always had a steady 5k players. It was consistent and a game that has always been there, but after a while, people started noticing a problem. All this effort in visuals and polish, yet the gameplay was still the same grind underneath. It wasn't too different from everything we already had. It wasn't as revolutionary as Deepwoken or Rogue Lineage at the time, and that's when the genre started to slow down a bit. We loved how these games looked, but deep down, we were tired of repeating the same loops for the 1000th time. The graphics arms race had begun. Games looked better than ever, but the gameplay loop started to stagnate under the weight of grind. Then came 2023, the year of only the strong survive. Type Soul dropped, and this game was no joke. It took the difficulty of Deepwoken and mixed it with Bleach's entire lore and combat system, faction wars, complex builds, actual progression paths that made you think before you clicked. It was everything players have been asking for. But here's the thing, the only good part about Type Soul was PvP. Don't even ask me about progression or PvE. And that's where the genre split. Casual players stuck with Blox and the easy stuff, while the hardcore side went full try-hard mode with Type Soul and Deepwoken. The community basically divided into two worlds, the grinders who just wanted to chill and M1 24/7, and the veterans who wanted to suffer through a learning curve. And even though Type Soul had its flaws, it kept anime games alive that year, and the years to come, even though it's been privated and reposted more times than I can even count. This was a split. Casual stayed with Blox and the clones. Hardcore players, on the other hand, chased skill-based experiences like Type Soul and Deepwoken, and the gap between those two kept growing more and more as years passed by. Now, 2024, man, this year was weird. We genuinely hoped this was gonna be the golden age for Roblox, but it just wasn't. It felt like every new anime game that came out was hyped for 1 week and then gone faster than the previous one. We got Jujutsu Shenanigans, a Jujutsu Kaisen Battlegrounds game that actually looked super fun at first. The animations were clean, the visuals were top tier, the gameplay felt fast and engaging, but it had the same problem every single game had. It was either a Battlegrounds or a repetitive bandy mirror. You'd play for a few hours and that was it. Some people love Battlegrounds games. That's why Jujutsu Shenanigans and the strongest Battlegrounds never really fall off. But me, I personally don't like Battlegrounds. They get repetitive so fast, and fighting 50 other players at the same time on the same map just isn't fun. Also, I just don't like the combat in most Battlegrounds, except maybe Age of Honor, which is just parry based, if you don't know. There was also smaller games that year, well made, but soulless. Nothing really different. Everything was just chasing the same formula, flashing effects that gets people hyped. Short grind, quick fall off. That's when people started realizing we might be entering the end of anime game era. We resorted to just waiting for Roblox anime games instead of playing them. We started comparing every game that came out to games that never even came out or we got to play, like Rell Seas. Like there's people out there comparing Netros to Rell Seas. That's not me, guys. The Roblox anime community just lived in the future. 2024 just felt repetitive. Every game looked better, but played the same. The genre was surviving on nostalgia and expectations for the future. By 2025, it honestly felt like everything has slowed down. The hype was near gone. Everyone was just waiting for a new game. Something that will actually revive Roblox and get them back onto the platform. Everyone was waiting for Rell Seas, for Holy War X, for anything that could bring back the old spark of Roblox. Runeslayer tried to be that game. It looked fun, the combat had potential. People really thought it might be the next big thing. But even though it was fun and immersive, it just didn't last. It was just another short-lived hype cycle. People played it, had fun for a week, and moved on. It wasn't bad, it just didn't stick. The same thing happened to Roblox and Type Soul. Even though they had massive expectations for the player base, the games just didn't last longer than a month or two, which is insane. And at this point, fans were losing faith. Every game looked amazing in the trailer and sneaks, but none of them actually had the soul that games like Shindo, Deepwoken, or even Bloxers had back in the day. Everyone was just waiting for the next savior, and the scary part is, we still are. By 2025, the anime game genre had massively slowed down. Devs are struggling to innovate, fans are losing faith. Everyone including me is still hoping for games labeled as saviors, but the likeliness of them coming out in the short time we have left this year is low. When you look back, nothing has really felt the same since the golden days of Roblox. Deepwoken, Shindo, Rogue Lineage, even Blox, depends how old you were when you played it. Those weren't just games, they were moments. They defined entire eras of Roblox. Every year since then, we've said the same thing. This will be the golden age. This year will be different. But it never was. Rell Seas, Holy War X, Pocket Anime. These aren't just releases, they're our last chance to believe in Roblox again. We've been through banny beers, visual baits, hardcore RPGs, and soulless clones. Either way, 2026 is coming, and we will see if games that we think will save Roblox will release before this year ends, or if we'll just keep waiting. Tell me in the comments what your favorite Roblox anime game ever is, and if I mention it in this video. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.